Right now at 7, the U.S. and UK have launched retaliatory strikes on Iranian-backed targets after last week's airstrikes, which killed 3 U.S. service members.
We cannot lose this campaign for the good of the country.
Plus, President Biden wins the first Democratic primary of the 2024 race, what it means as election season heats up.
And here's a look at the Capitol this morning. Very foggy once again. I'll have the full forecast coming up.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us here on Weekend Mornings. It is 7 o'clock, and let's take a look outside this morning with Jacob Montesano. Jacob, how are you doing on this Sunday?
I'm doing pretty good. You know, I had called for the fog this morning, but as I was driving to work, I'm like, you know, it's a little foggier than even I anticipated for. Take a look at the Capitol building. It's out there somewhere, very foggy across our area. Current temperature at 26 degrees, plenty of cloud cover. We are going to see some sunshine again this afternoon, but here's a look at the current visibilities. A lot of areas seeing visibility down to 1/4 of a mile. So if you have anywhere to go this morning, just take a little extra time, try and take it slow. We're seeing very foggy weather, and there's a dense fog advisory in effect for areas north of Dane County. This is until 10 a.m., but if I go back to the visibility, current visibilities, down south where we're not seeing a dense fog advisory, still seeing visibilities down to 1/4 of a mile. So even areas outside of this dense fog advisory are seeing some very dense fog at this hour. Once again, this is until 10 a.m., so we are going to be better by the afternoon with visibilities much better. Still some lingering fog, but every location will certainly be better than what we're seeing right now. Here's a look at the current temperatures, mostly in the 20s. A few locations just north of La Crosse seeing current temperatures in the teens. It's also in the 30s as you get closer to the lake. So for the forecast today, by the time we get to around noon, we certainly are going to see much clearer skies. We also will see sunshine by the afternoon with highs in the middle 40s for La Crosse. Madison won't be quite as mild, but still going to see highs around 40, which is above average for this time of the year. I'll have a full detailed forecast, though, still to come.
All right, Jacob, thank you. There was another round of airstrikes overnight in the Middle East, this time a joint mission between the U.S. and UK aimed at Houthi targets in Yemen. The Iran-backed rebel group has been attacking ships on the Red Sea. CBS's Bradley Blackburn has the latest.
British fighter jets took off in the dark from an undisclosed location, joining American bombers and Navy destroyers in the mission. The firepower was aimed at Houthi targets in 13 different locations in Yemen. The 36 targets included missile and radar systems, command and control facilities, and weapons storage sites, among others. Since November, Iran-backed Houthi militants have been launching near-daily assaults on commercial ships and Navy vessels in the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden. It's disrupted oil tankers, shipping, and even cruise lines. This is the third time the U.S. and the U.K. have jointly targeted the Houthis since last month.
This campaign against the Houthis is not yet anywhere near being accomplished.
In a statement online, Houthi officials promised to meet escalation with escalation. President Biden was briefed on the strikes before departing from Delaware for the West Coast. On Friday, a round of U.S. airstrikes targeted sites in Iraq and Syria in retaliation for an attack in Jordan that killed 3 U.S. service members. The U.S. says the group responsible for that attack is also linked to Iran's Revolutionary Guard, but the U.S. is avoiding striking Iran directly.
The goal here is to get these attacks to stop. We are not looking for a war with Iran.
Since the start of the Israel-Hamas war, U.S. military forces have been targeted more than 165 times. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
And a defense official told CBS News that following that round of strikes in Iraq and Syria, there has been another attack on U.S. forces, but there were no reports of injuries or damage. Back in the U.S., President Biden has won the South Carolina Democratic primary, delivering his remarks inside his campaign headquarters Saturday.
This is not just a campaign. This is more of a mission. We cannot lose this campaign for the good of the country. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. It's not about me. It goes well beyond me. It goes about the country. And I think everybody knows it, and I think people are beginning to dawn on people.
South Carolina is the Democratic Party's first official nominating contest and is the state that helped propel Biden to the Democratic nomination 4 years ago. Staying in politics, House Speaker Mike Johnson says the House will vote this week on a standalone bill to provide aid to Israel. That is an about-face for Johnson, who previously said he would not allow the House to vote on aid packages to Israel and Ukraine unless the White House and Congress worked out a deal on border security. Johnson previously proposed a $14 billion aid package for Israel that required offsetting cuts from the IRS. But the new proposal would provide Israel with $17 billion in aid with no offsetting costs. Meanwhile, the Senate has put together its own package that would provide money for Israel and Ukraine. The bill also deals with border security. The border is a top issue for many. On Saturday, hundreds gathered to call on the federal government to secure the southern border with Mexico. The Take Back Our Border convoy held several events, traveling through 9 states all over the course of 2.5 days. Those who took part in it say they are concerned about the migrant crisis and its impact on local communities.
I love America. I love everybody here. I even love the illegal immigrants, but come legally. You know, we can only take care of so many. And we're willing to take care of so many.
Counter-protesters also have gathered at the Texas-Mexico border. Some more local news now. Madison's UW Habitat for Humanity held their annual Soup Herb Bowl on Saturday. It was all held at West High School, where attendees enjoyed meals in ceramic bowls made by students. The event included activities and even an appearance from Bucky Badger. And as event director Hunter Downey described, it was all for a local cause.
We're all college kids coming together to support our sponsor family. Our sponsor family is building a home right here in Madison, and all the proceeds from this event go towards them. And on top of supporting our sponsor family, we're just here to educate people about Habitat for Humanity and promote affordable housing.
There was also live music provided by local band Shibi and the Love Makers. Tonight is Grammys night here on CBS, and beyond the glitz and glamour, it's a special day for a Janesville family and minority-owned business. The young men behind the online distributor Hairforge say they are pioneering a masculine look for hair accessories, snagging a spot on the gift bags at tonight's award ceremony.
I thought it was a scam at first, because I was like, we got into like the Grammys, are you sure?
The boys hope the business strikes a chord with others after the award show. Tonight at 10:30, our Catherine Merck will show how, unlike the products they sell, nothing is holding the operation back. Much of the prep work is already done getting tonight's awards ready. CBS's Danya Bacchus gives a preview.
The red carpet is rolled out, the seating charts are set, and final details are being worked out for music's biggest night.
That's been a hugely ambitious thing to pull off, and literally up to like 2 days ago, we hadn't exactly locked down what we were doing.
With a larger stage and a new color scheme, the 66 Grammy Award show is all about the music.
It's me. Hi.
Women dominate the major Grammy Award categories. Taylor Swift, Olivia Rodrigo, and SZA will go head-to-head for each of the top awards, Song, Record, and Album of the Year.
If Taylor was to win Album of the Year, she'd be the first ever person to win Album of the Year 4 times.
They are still setting up the red carpet for this year's show, and it is expected to be a big production. While only 10 awards will be handed out on stage, there will be at least 15 live music performances. Look for history-making performances, including U2 performing live from the Sphere in Las Vegas.
So many things I would have done.
80-year-old folk icon Joni Mitchell will sing for the first time at the Grammys.
I'm late, but I'm here right now.
Billy Joel returns to the Grammy stage after a 30-year absence, performing his first new single in decades.
Go ahead, it's your time, baby. It's your time, baby.
And Nigerian singer Burna Boy will be giving the Grammys' first Afro-fusion performance. Trevor Noah returns to host for the 4th time.
I think it is probably going to be electric, terrifying, exciting, nerve-wracking.
Danya Bacchus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Time now is 7:10. Still ahead, how an Ohio community is still searching for answers after a massive train derailment there last year. And let's take a live look outside again. Jacob will have another check of the forecast just ahead.
Celebrate President's Day with Steinhoffels and indulge in the ultimate relaxation experience. Test rest a Beauty Rest Black mattress for your chance to win a dream vacation to Hawaii. Queen Beauty Rest mattresses start at only $3.99. Plus, save up to $1,000 on Beauty Rest adjustable base sets. And when you upgrade to the luxurious Beauty Rest Black, you'll get $300 in Steinhoffels cash and a $100 MasterCard rewards card. Shop Steinhoffels President's Day sale.
News 3 Now and Vortex presents Spirit of Service, honoring those who've made a real difference in our community.
Do you know a veteran whose actions have been a positive force in the area? If so, nominate them for the Spirit of Service Award.
Log on to channel3000.com, nominate a veteran, and tell us why they're a pillar in our community. A winner will be selected on March 11th.
Help us celebrate our hometown heroes.
The Spirit of Service Award, presented by Vortex.
My dry eyes made me a burning, stinging 5 times a day.
Makeup smearing, drops user.
I want another option. That's not another drop.
Tyrvaya. It's not another drop. It's the first and only nasal spray for dry eye. Tyrvaya treats the signs and symptoms of dry eye disease fast by helping your body produce its own real tears. Common side effects include sneezing, cough, and throat and nose irritation.
Relying only on drops? Not me. My own real tears are my relief.
Ask your eye doctor about Tyrvaya.
Without the right start to your day, your morning could hit a wall.
Is he okay?
I got it. Belvita breakfast biscuits are baked with slow-release carbs and provide steady morning energy to help you rise and thrive.
Hello, Wisconsin insurance brokers. Are you seeking outstanding dental coverage options? Momentum Insurance is your answer. A locally owned Madison company, we specialize in meeting Wisconsin residents' dental insurance needs. Our comprehensive coverages, competitive commissions, bonus programs, and online portals are what set us apart. Partner with us to elevate your group dental offerings. For details, visit our website at MomentumPlans.com. Momentum Insurance, your partner for outstanding dental coverage.
Announcing Madison Magazine's Best of Madison Readers Poll for 2024. Nominate the Best of Madison online today, including Harker Heating and Cooling for Best Heating and Cooling. Nominate Harker and all your favorites on MadisonMagazine.com.
A logo can do more than identify your company. It can connect in meaningful ways, energize your team, and inspire your customers. We're 4imprint, and we know your logo on the right product can create moments that matter. With 30 years of experience and thousands of products to choose from, we guarantee your order will be right the first time, on time, and for a great price. Be certain that the right moments will matter. Explore thousands of promotional products at 4imprint.com.
4imprint, for certain.
Good morning, everybody. Here's a look at the 3 things you need to know for this week. We are going to continue to see some fog during the morning hours, but our next chance of actual rainfall won't be until Thursday and Friday, and temperatures are going to remain mild all week with highs continuously in the 40s. Now, we still have that dense fog advisory in effect for areas north of Dane County until 10 a.m. this morning, so it will get better by the afternoon. And looking at the visibility forecast, we could see some lingering fog during the afternoon for areas north, but not too bad. Unfortunately, we are going to see more fog develop for tomorrow morning. Probably not going to be quite as bad as it is this morning, and once again, it will be better by Monday afternoon. More fog, though, expected for Tuesday night, possibly again for Wednesday. This is Monday night and Tuesday morning, possibly again for Tuesday night and Wednesday morning. Now, for the afternoon, it's going to be pretty nice. Still a little chilly, but for this time of year, well above average. Highs will be in the upper 30s to lower 40s, possibly middle 40s for those of you near La Crosse and also closer to the Minnesota-Iowa borders. And as we get to the overnight hours, we'll see lows in the upper 20s, which is pretty close to the average highs that we normally see for this time of the year. And then as we head into your Monday, temperatures will be pretty similar to today. Once again, middle 40s for areas west of Madison, right around 40 for Madison and areas to the east. Here's a look at the high temperatures over the next 10 days. They're going to continue to warm up for the middle of the week. Highs will be around 50 for Wednesday, middle to lower 50s on Thursday, but Thursday is also our next chance of rain. Temperatures will drop after that rain moves through. So here's a look at future track. We're not going to see anything through Wednesday rather, but it is going to be cloudy on Wednesday with some precipitation developing during the overnight hours into Thursday, and rain is likely on Thursday. could possibly last for a good portion of the day. By the time we get to the overnight hours, rain will be a little less likely, with rain going to continue into Friday. As we get into the weekend, though, temperatures will begin to cool off a bit, and some of that rain may transition into snow. But at this time, we really aren't expecting a lot of accumulation, as temperatures will be right on the cusp of freezing. So some of this snow may be mixed with rain, and if it does snow, it likely will be a very wet snow. So even though we do have more snow in the forecast, we're not expecting to see any accumulation. So here's a look at the full 7 to 10 day forecast. Pretty quiet for the first half of the week, then the rain with possible some snow. By the end of the weekend, highs will be in the 50s, kind of around 40 by the time we get to next weekend. So it will be colder, but still above average for this time of the year. Here's Madison's 10-day forecast. 40s through Tuesday, 50 possible on Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday and Thursday, we actually could be breaking record highs and also record warm low temperatures during the overnight hours. So very unseasonably mild. A bit closer to average, but still above it by next weekend. Going to continue to cool off for next work week.
Thank you, Jacob. It was a year ago when a freight train carrying hazardous materials derailed in the Ohio town of East Palestine, resulting in major environmental and economic damage. And in that year, residents near the accident still have more questions than answers. John Delano has the story.
The Norfolk Southern train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio, just a quarter mile from the Pennsylvania state line, included 20 rail cars with hazardous materials that spilled into land, water, and air. Can we say a year later, why did this happen, Mr. Secretary?
Well, here's what I'll say. We have learned a lot already, even though the NTSB is still doing work on the root causes of this. That hasn't stopped us from getting to work right away on measures that can make railroading in America safer.
Can you give us any definitive idea of what went wrong?
Well, in terms of the definitive answer, by law, that will come not from me, but the National Transportation Safety Board. Their independence is something I respect a great deal. But they already have put out some preliminary findings relating to what happened in the wheels.
Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg says it's not just track quality that matters, but the train cars themselves, especially train wheels, bearings, and brakes, which the NTSB cited in a preliminary report. Buttigieg won't criticize the NTSB, saying it's more important to get it right than fast. But he did criticize Congress for failing to pass the Bipartisan Railway Safety Act, sponsored by senators in Ohio and Pennsylvania and local Congressman Chris DeLuzio.
I am disappointed that there hasn't been more action on Capitol Hill.
This bill would increase fines against railway companies and include safety measures like stronger chemical tank cars and required wayside defect detectors along tracks to detect defects and failures in train cars earlier. Let me ask you about Norfolk Southern and whether you are satisfied that they have done all that they can do to help residents in both Ohio and Pennsylvania.
Norfolk Southern is responsible for cleaning up the mess they made. I'll tell you who's not responsible for this is the people who live in and around East Palestine, who through no fault of their own had their lives upended.
And although Norfolk Southern has done some things, Buttigieg says
we're far from being able to say that that's complete or that we're in a position to be satisfied, because we know there's more work to be done to make the people of those communities whole.
And as we mark 1 year since the derailment, I asked Buttigieg if he had a message to the people affected by it.
My message is that we're going to continue to support these communities to thrive, for the families in them to do well and to make sure that they know that we have their back. But also, we're not going to let this incident go without major changes in the railroad industry and in railroad law in this country.
And he says the goal is to make sure this never happens again.
As of January, the railroad's costs related to the derailment were $1.1 billion, with $101 million in insurance payments issued. And with more cleanup and penalties still to come, costs are expected to rise further. We'll stay right here on Weekend Mornings. Next, Jake will have another check of today's weather.
Emmy award-winning News 3 Now this morning, weekdays.
If you've ever grilled, you know you can count on propane to make everything great. But did you know propane also powers school buses that produce lower emissions that lead to higher test scores? Or that propane can cut your energy costs at home? It powers big jobs and small ones too. From hospitals to hospitality, people rely on propane, an energy source that's affordable, plentiful, and environmentally friendly for everyone. Get the facts at propane.com/now.
If you haven't been to the Legend of Bergamot in the last 5 years, you will be stunned. It's the fastest growing club and community anywhere in this state. It's a spectacular lifestyle. Have you stood on our balcony at sunset? The view of miles of countryside over a perfect golf course with the sun setting just over your left shoulder. That's pretty good. Come become a member. If you just want to do it a little bit, come be our guest.
I thought with everything going on, we could all use a little smile break. So this one is on Gruber Law Offices. You're welcome.
You'll never guess what we're doing to the Baconator. We're putting it...
pretzel bun? On the Baconator. Catherine, you seeing this?
Posters everywhere.
What?
Get the new Pretzel Baconator in the Wendy's app and get $3 off orders over $15.
Struggling with the highs and lows of bipolar 1? Ask about Vraylar. Because you are greater than your bipolar 1. And you can help take control of your symptoms with Vraylar. Some medicines only treat the lows or highs. Vraylar treats depressive, acute manic, and mixed episodes of bipolar 1 in adults. Proven full-spectrum relief for all bipolar 1 symptoms. And in Vraylar clinical studies, most saw no substantial impact on weight. Elderly dementia patients have increased risk of death or stroke. Call your doctor about unusual changes in behavior or suicidal thoughts. Antidepressants can increase these in children and young adults. Report fever, stiff muscles, or confusion, which may mean a life-threatening reaction, or uncontrollable muscle movements, which may be permanent. High blood sugar, which can lead to coma or death, weight gain, and high cholesterol may occur. Movement dysfunction and restlessness are common side effects. Sleepiness and stomach issues are also common. Side effects may not appear for several weeks. Ask about Vraylar and learn how AbbVie could help you save.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Here's a look at a weather photo sent to us by David. This is from Janesville showing the moon, but a lot of fog between the ground and the moon. And this just shows you that we've been seeing a lot of fog lately, and unfortunately, it looks like that is going to continue. So thank you, David, for submitting your photo. If you want to submit your own, go to channel3000.com, click on the weather tab, scroll down to post your own. It's as simple as that. Give us a little bit of a description, your name, and where you took the photo. Now here's a look a little bit beyond the 10-day forecast, the 8 to 14-day temperature outlook. Although we're going to be a little bit colder by next week, it looks like the above average temperatures may stick around for the middle of the month, with the precipitation going to be a little bit drier than average. We do have that chance of rain and snow towards the end of next weekend, but it looks like by the middle of next week, we are going to be dry again. But at the very least, you know, we're going to remain mild, and this is looking like it's going to be an incredibly mild month. At least no signs are pointing to colder temperatures coming.
After losing to Minnesota in overtime, the border battle on ice continued last night in front of a sold-out Kohl Center, and spoiler alert, we needed overtime again. And as if overtime wasn't enough free hockey, we needed a shootout. This is what you live for. Gophers missed their first shot, so here comes Quinn Finley. Nothing too fancy, but he scoops the puck around the netminder for the goal. Take another look at that one. What a beauty. And then William Whitelaw with a chance to put this thing to bed. Right at the keeper, and it is a goal. The Badgers tie the Gophers and win the shootout. What a thrilling weekend for the men. 1-1 is your final. In the span of 25 hours, there are not one, not two, not three, but 4 top 10 matchups on UW's campus. Women's and men's hockey are 3 of those 4 games, and the women played St. Cloud State yesterday, looking for their 10th straight win. But the Huskies took an early lead. They'd try to add to it here, but look at this glove save from Jane Gervais. She had 24 saves on the day. Take another look at that. She'd need all of them. And then later in the second period, Badgers trying to claw their way back in. Slap shot off the mark from Vivian Jungles, but Maddie Wheeler in the right place at the right time. She nets the goal. Badgers go on to win it in overtime, and will look for the sweep today. Did we mention top 10? I think a couple times. The big one of the weekend is today, when 6th-ranked Wisconsin hosts number 2 Purdue as the Badgers look to rebound from a collapse at Nebraska. That can all be forgotten if they take care of business against the Boilermakers. The teams come in just about tied for first place in the Big Ten, and the Boilermakers bring 7'4" Zach Edey, the reigning National Player of the Year. There's a lot on these players' minds heading into this game, so I asked a simple question to some stars for the Badgers. What do you like about Purdue?
Yeah, they run really well. You know, they play really well together. Love the way they play well and compete, and you know it's gonna be a fun game.
Yeah, they're a really good team, really good coached. Got some really talented players, and they got Zach Edey. So I mean, that's the nicest thing I can say about it.
That's your morning sports fix. Have a serene Sunday.
News 3 Now and Vortex presents Spirit of Service, honoring those who've made a real difference in our community.
Do you know a veteran whose actions have been a positive force in the area? If so, nominate them for the Spirit of Service Award.
Log on to channel3000.com, nominate a veteran, and tell us why they're a pillar in our community. A winner will be selected on March 11th.
Help us celebrate our hometown heroes.
The Spirit of Service Award, presented by Vortex.
Now is the best time to buy new Champion windows, because when you buy 2, you get 2 free.
Hurry, Champion's Buy 2, Get 2 free sale is for a limited time.
That's a great deal. Thanks.
Call 888-4CHAMPION or schedule your free in-home estimate online today.
I have moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Thanks to Skyrizi, I'm on my way with clearer skin. 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, had a vaccine, or plan to. Nothing on my skin means everything. Ask your dermatologist about Skyrizi. Learn how AbbVie could help you save.
Without the right start to your day, your morning could hit a wall.
Is he okay? I got
Belvita breakfast biscuits are baked with slow-release carbs and provide steady morning energy to help you rise and thrive.
Today, we seize the day, because at US Cellular, you can get an epic Samsung Galaxy S24 with Galaxy AI. Now, you might be wondering, do I deserve a free Samsung Galaxy S24? You do. You deserve it. Each and every one of you deserves one.
Even me?
Look under your chair. That's right.
Incredible. It's incredible.
New and current customers can get the Samsung Galaxy S24 on us with no trade-in. US Cellular.
Ordinary is the opposite of beautiful. Because beauty excites. It energizes. It drops our jaws. Dilates our eyes. Makes us look twice. A beautiful home, a beautiful life, is something we create. And we can start right now at Floor & Decor.
Dig, if you will, the picture of a fabulous night of networking, silent auctions, raffles, and live entertainment featuring the Prince Experience. Get ready to party like it's 1999 with the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County and Hearts for Helping. Mark your calendars for February 23rd and join us for a night of pure joy, unforgettable moments, and the music of Prince. Let's go crazy together at Hearts for Helping 2024. Tickets are on sale now at bgcdc.org.
Right now at 7:30, it's a Not-So-Frozen Assets Festival, canceling this year's on-ice activities. Our Braden Ross shows how they managed. Plus, victory in South Carolina, President Biden projected to win the first-in-the-nation Democratic primary.
And here's a look at the Capitol this morning. Another very foggy morning across our area. The full forecast coming up.
Good morning and thanks for joining us here on Weekend Mornings in this new half hour. It is Sunday, February 4th. Before we get to some news, we are going to check in with today's weather. Jacob Montesano, your Capitol camera is pretty foggy out there this morning.
Yeah, that was not a mistake during the headlines. This is indeed the view of the Capitol, and I think the fog has actually gotten a little denser since the start of the show. So we're seeing very foggy conditions right now. Current temperature at 26 degrees. Looking at the visibility across our area, how about 0 in Mineral Point? A lot of areas seeing visibilities down to 1/4 of a mile. Now, the dense fog advisory is only in effect for areas north of Dane County, but if I go back to the current visibilities, as I mentioned, right now 0 is the visibility in Mineral Point, 1.25 miles in Madison. My guess is there are a few areas across Dane County a little bit lower than that, but up to the north of Dane County, right now visibilities are down to 1/4 mile, not as bad as you get closer towards La Crosse. So that dense fog advisory is in effect until 10 a.m. this morning. So if you have anywhere to go this morning, just take a little extra time getting to your destination. It will get better by the afternoon, maybe some lingering foggy conditions north of Madison, but for the most part, it will be better with sunshine expected. Now here's a look at the current temperatures. 20s for much of our area, closer to 30 as you get closer towards the lake, also 32 in Janesville. Kind of in the teens between La Crosse and Eau Claire further north, but these temperatures are still above average regardless for this time of the year. Now here's a look at the forecast for La Crosse. Still going to see some cloud cover during the morning, but sunshine is expected again for the afternoon with highs in the middle 40s. A little bit cooler for Madison with highs around 40, but still well above average. I'll have a full detailed forecast for the upcoming week coming up in just a moment.
Jacob, thank you. And on to our top story this morning. The 12th annual Frozen Assets Festival brought back people to the Edgewater this year, but this time it looked a little different than it usually does. Our Braden Ross went there to check it out and shares why.
Hundreds of people will still come through the Edgewater today to celebrate Madison's lakes, even if the Frozen Assets Festival is a little less frozen than usual.
It being a really warm day.
It's safe to say this is the warmest Frozen Assets Festival on record, and that means it had to look a little different this year.
We've had to pivot a little bit this year with the changing weather. But, you know, you always have to change for weather in Wisconsin.
Executive Director of Clean Lakes Alliance, James Ty, says they've been checking in on the ice for weeks leading up to Frozen Assets, keeping safety top of mind.
The lake is actually pretty thick right now. It's about 7 to 6 inches in front of the Edgewater. It's the integrity of the ice.
Because while they'd love to have people out on the lake, they're trying to keep people out of it.
We worked with our meteorologists on staff and go, hey, let's just be super cautious and not put 1,000 people out on the lake.
So instead of the usual Frozen 5K on the lake, Clean Lakes Alliance brought people to the lake shore for the largest winter workout in Madison, plus tons of other activities to celebrate and learn about Madison's lakes.
On land, doing a workout, doing kids crafts, and a lot of the science that's coming from University of Wisconsin. We've got the physics lab.
And Frozen Assets is so much more than just a fun time. It's also a fundraiser for Clean Lakes Alliance.
We put all that money back into the community through advocacy, education, monitoring, and grants to do projects throughout the community.
Because whether the lakes are frozen or not, Ty says they always need our help.
It's really important. Learn what you can do as an individual to protect our lakes now and forever.
Reporting in Madison, Braden Ross, News 3 Now.
If you would like to support Clean Lakes Alliance or learn more about Madison's lakes, you can find all the information you need online at cleanlakesalliance.org. Now on to some other news hitting headlines this morning. President Joe Biden on Saturday won the South Carolina Democratic primary. It's the first officially sanctioned race in the party's nominating season. Here's what South Carolina's state party chair had to say during a victory party last night.
We chose a president who knows that true leadership is a form of service. The people of South Carolina know that because we have an electorate that looks like today's Democratic Party and tomorrow's America.
This is the first time South Carolina has kicked off the primary season for Democrats. Traditionally, New Hampshire has received the honor. The Wisconsin Supreme Court is ruling that Minnesota Congressman Dean Phillips will appear on the ballot during April's presidential primary. Phillips sued the Wisconsin Elections Commission and State Presidential Preference Selection Committee last month. The congressman argued that the committee illegally ignored his request to be put on the ballot. Phillips is the only elected official running against President Biden in this year's Democratic primary. Overseas, the United States and the UK struck 36 Houthi targets in Yemen on Saturday in a second wave of assaults meant to further disable Iranian-backed groups. But Washington once more did not directly target Iran as it tries to find a balance between a forceful response and intensifying the conflict. Saturday's strikes follow an air assault in Iraq and Syria on Friday in retaliation for the drone strike that killed 3 U.S. troops in Jordan last weekend. Back in our area, 2 people were arrested Saturday after an incident which involved 2 stabbings in Fitchburg. It happened in the Belmar neighborhood near the Beltline. Fitchburg police responded to a large group gathering in the street. One vehicle had deliberately crashed into another one, and 2 individuals were stabbed. Non-life-threatening injuries were reported. Police say the people involved knew each other and that there is no known threat to the public at this time. For many Madison students and parents, the early starts they've experienced this year may likely continue next fall. Madison Schools Interim Superintendent Lisa Quisted tells us in a one-on-one interview that the bus driver shortage they've seen this year is likely to continue.
I would imagine that we are looking at somewhat of a tiered system again for 24-25. It will depend on the number of drivers that we can get.
The district expects to bring a plan to the school board in April. Before then, parents will be able to weigh in through a survey on the early start times. And you can see more from our interview later this morning at 10:30 on For the Record. Today is National Transit Equity Day, held each year on the birthday of civil rights activist Rosa Parks. Parks, of course, is known for her efforts to fight racial discrimination on buses, being arrested on December 1st of 1955 after refusing to give up her seat to a white man in Montgomery, Alabama. Some advocates in the Madison area plan to gather Monday to mark the day at a closed bus stop. It will be at the University Avenue intersection with Lake Street, and they plan to convene at around 11:30 a.m. Time now is 7:36. Still ahead, Shane Hogan checks in with a new health conversation, and here's today's look at history.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'll get right to the point. It's the President's Day Super Sale at Denver Mattress.
Madam President, what's that mean for the average American?
It means saving $100 off every $1,000 you spend.
And Tempur-Pedic?
With bipartisan support, we've allocated a $300 gift with the purchase of any Tempur-Pedic.
And how will the people pay for these so-called savings?
Try 6 years, no interest, and free shipping. The President's Day Super Sale, on now at Denver Mattress.
Announcing Madison Magazine's Best of Madison Readers Poll for 2024. Nominate the Best of Madison online today, including Beef Butter Barbecue for Best Barbecue, Best Catering. Cast a nomination for Beef Butter Barbecue and all your favorites on MadisonMagazine.com.
The dues value that we deliver, 4 clubs for the price of 1, is unheard of. The facilities at the Legend of Bergamot, I mean, it's just incredible. You don't have to pay $30,000 to be able to play a great golf course that's in great condition. The pool, tennis, fitness complex, you would think you're at a resort, not at a country club. That's pretty good. Come become a member. If you just want to do it a little bit, come be our guest.
A logo can do more than identify your company. It can connect in meaningful ways, energize your team, and inspire your customers. We're 4imprint, and we know your logo on the right product can create moments that matter. With 30 years of experience and thousands of products to choose from, we guarantee your order will be right the first time, on time, and for a great price. Be certain that the right moments will matter. Explore thousands of promotional products at 4imprint.com.
4imprint, for certain.
There's a reason big dental bills often come as a shock, because sometimes you don't realize what's not covered until you get the bill. That's why affordable dental insurance from Physicians Mutual is important. It can give you benefits that go beyond what you get from more limited coverage plans. Because no one likes a big dental bill, especially if you're retired or on a fixed income. For a free information kit, call or go online now. This isn't some discount plan or preventive-only coverage. This is real dental insurance that helps cover over 350 procedures, like cleanings, fillings, crowns, bridges, root canals, even dentures, at any dentist you want. Dental insurance from Physicians Mutual Insurance Company helps cover preventive care, basic work, and major procedures with no deductibles and no annual maximum. For your free information kit with all the details, call now or visit sendinfokit.com.
Physicians Mutual, Physicians Mutual.
No two accidents are the same, so don't let the insurance company treat you just like another number. Call Gruber Law Offices today. We'll give you the attention you need. We've helped tens of thousands of people get the money they deserve. One call, that's all.
Here's a look at the forecast across the nation. For today and tomorrow, there's going to be rain to the south of us, especially the southeastern portion of the United States, but our area will remain dry. Now, over the next 2 days, we are going to see a system move into the western half of the United States, bringing plenty of rainfall and upper elevation snow, and that system will slowly track into our area and bring some rain by the time we get to Thursday and Friday, but until then, we are going to be dry. Looking a bit further, this is the temperature outlook over the next 8 to 14 days. It looks like we are going to see those temperatures remaining above average as we head towards the middle portion of the month. And precipitation-wise, it looks like we're going to be drier than average, so pretty similar to what we're going to see the next couple of days. Now, towards the end of the week, we are going to see that rain likely, but that's before this specific outlook. So it looks like we are going to be dry again by the time we get to the month with temperatures remaining above average.
All right, thank you, Jacob. In this morning's health conversation, our Shane Hogan sits down with Dr. Rupa Shah to talk about the ways you can keep safe inside your car and home during the winter months. Here now is that conversation.
Well, with winter weather officially here, the risk of carbon monoxide poisoning and other home safety concerns are rising. SSM Health family medicine physician and wellness coach Dr. Rupa Shah joins us today with tips on how to stay safe at home and on the road during these winter months. Now, Dr. Shah, the risk of carbon monoxide poisoning goes up in the winter, often from faulty heating systems in folks' home. Now, what are some things we should all keep in mind when it comes to that carbon monoxide poisoning?
Yeah, so there are, over 400 reported deaths each year, according to the CDC, from carbon monoxide poisoning. So it is something we should be thinking about. The problem with carbon monoxide, of course, it's a poisonous gas that is odorless and colorless, so you just never know.
Right.
It can come from all sorts of faulty appliances, furnaces, generators, things like that. So it's good to check those sorts of things in your home this time of year, and then make sure you have functioning carbon monoxide monitors on every floor, especially outside your sleeping areas.
Right.
Another thing I like to tell folks is even if you're traveling, you're going to these Airbnbs or VRBOs and things like that, taking a portable carbon monoxide monitor
that's a great idea.
can be another really good idea too, just taking responsibility for your own safety in those situations. So symptoms really mild initially. You can get some dizziness, headaches. With more exposure, it can progress to vomiting, unconsciousness, and then eventually death. So really just being on the lookout for symptoms if people aren't feeling well in the house too. Yeah.
Now let's talk about travel. You know, whether it's driving across town to a friend's gathering or across the state beyond, what are some ways that we can stay safe when the weather is unpredictable? Something we've seen here in the last few weeks.
Yeah, especially living in Wisconsin, we got to be ready for all sorts of conditions. So number one, I always say too, let people know that you're on your way when you're leaving, when they should expect you. So if something doesn't go according to plan, they kind of know where you were going. Have a safety kit ready in your car, right? I mean, most of us carry our cell phone, but make sure you have your portable charger. Make sure you have some supplies. You know, you can have matches, candles, blankets, your ice scraper. Make sure you have your winter-ready kit in the trunk of your car ready to go, just in case something unfortunate happens. You never do know. Being prepared, I think, in Wisconsin is the key
and you know,
usually.
for some people, this might seem redundant, but it's good to have these reminders, and because you really never know. And even if you think you're a good winter driver, it's the other folks on the road that might cause the problem. So some good reminders there. Now, what are some things you can do to stay safe if you do become stranded on the road? Obviously, worst case scenario, but it's a possibility.
It could happen. So again, make sure you're pulled off well enough from the side of the road that no one else is gonna, run into you. Again, hopefully you have some of those supplies in your car. You want to just run your car, if you have to turn the heater on, just for about 10 minutes every hour. You don't want to leave it running. Make sure the tailpipe isn't blocked, just for carbon monoxide reasons. And don't leave your car, you know, unless you can get help pretty quickly. You want to stay near your vehicle so folks can find you.
Yeah, it's when people get out of the car on the side of the road where things can happen. So,
exactly.
All right, Dr. Shaw, good reminders. Where else can people find you?
So they can find me on Instagram at Wellness with Dr. Shaw.
All right, thank you as always.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Shane. And when we come back, Jacob's going to have another check of the forecast. Stick with us. You're watching Weekend Mornings.
Sponsored by Three Bears Resort, Indoor Water Park and Conference Center in Warrens, Wisconsin.
News 3 Now and Vortex presents Spirit of Service, honoring those who've made a real difference in our community.
Do you know a veteran whose actions have been a positive force in the area? If so, nominate them for the Spirit of Service Award.
Log on to channel3000.com, nominate a veteran, and tell us why they're a pillar in our community. A winner will be selected on March 11th.
Help us celebrate our hometown heroes.
The Spirit of Service Award, presented by Vortex.
You'll never guess what we're doing to the Baconator. We're putting it...
pretzel bun on the Baconator. Catherine, you seeing this?
Posters everywhere.
What?
Get the new Pretzel Baconator in the Wendy's app and get $3 off orders over $15.
Your logo can identify your company, inspire your customers, and energize your team. We're 4imprint, and we can help your logo create moments that matter. Explore thousands of promotional products at 4imprint.com.
4imprint, for certain.
It's here, Wisconsin's newest and most exclusive sports show. Wisconsin Huddle. It's more than just highlights. It's more than X's and O's. It's a dynamic 30-minute weekly special produced for the die-hard fans of Wisconsin athletics. Embark on an exclusive journey into the lives of some of UW's top athletes as we offer an inside look into their world. Watch Wisconsin Huddle Friday nights at 6:30. Brought to you by Ho Chunk Gaming Madison.
I was stuck. Unresolved depression symptoms were in my way. I needed more from my antidepressant. Vraylar helped give it a lift.
Adding Vraylar to an antidepressant is clinically proven to help relieve overall depression symptoms better than an antidepressant alone. And in Vraylar clinical studies, most saw no substantial impact on weight. Elderly dementia patients have increased risk of death or stroke, report unusual changes in behavior or suicidal thoughts. Antidepressants can increase these in children and young adults, report fever, stiff muscles, or confusion, as these may be life-threatening, or uncontrolled muscle movements, which may be permanent. High blood sugar, which can lead to coma or death, weight gain, and high cholesterol may occur. Movement dysfunction and restlessness are common side effects. Stomach and sleep issues, dizziness, increased appetite, and fatigue are also common. Side effects may not appear for several weeks.
I didn't have to change my treatment. I just gave it a lift.
Ask about Vraylar and learn how AbbVie can help you save.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Good morning, everybody. Here's a look at the 3 things you need to know for this week. We're going to continue to see some fog during the morning hours the next few days, with our next chance of rain coming Thursday and Friday. But during this entire week, we're going to see those temperatures in the 40s, so well above average for this time of the year. Current dense fog advisory is in effect for areas north of Dane County until 10 a.m., but Dane County and areas just to the south are also dealing with some dense fog. Not as bad as you get towards La Crosse, but we're going to continue to see some dense fog over the next few hours, but it will get better by the afternoon. However, as we get towards Monday morning, the fog will likely roll back into our area. Still a bit unclear if it will be worse or better compared to today. Just still foggy nonetheless. And then once again, getting better by the afternoon before more fog for Tuesday morning. Typically this happens when you have temperatures well above average during the winter. So looking at the afternoon forecast, it will be better with highs right around 40 for Madison in the central portion of our area, but off to the west near La Crosse, Iowa, Minnesota, highs will be in the middle 40s, possibly getting close to 50, but much of the area will stay below 50, still mild though. And then for tonight, we'll see low temperatures in the middle to upper 20s, fairly close to the average average high temperature that we normally see this time of year, but we're going to see those temperatures in the form of lows. So very mild for this time of year, and for your Monday, very similar. Highs right around 40 for Madison and areas to the east, middle to upper 40s for areas off to the west, and also up to the north near La Crosse and Eau Claire. For the next 10 days, we're going to remain very mild, even warm up by the time we get to Wednesday, where we could see highs around 50, and then middle to lower 50s on Thursday. We're going to be flirting with record highs those days, but then we have a chance of rain Thursday and Friday, and that will cool things off for the weekend and next week. So here's a look at that forecast. We are going to be dry through Wednesday, although Wednesday we will see plenty of cloud cover, but temperatures will still be up near 50, and then that rain will move in Thursday morning. Likely going to continue throughout a good portion of the day Thursday, and even into Friday, we are going to see some lingering showers, although the chance of rain Friday won't be as strong as the chance of rain on Thursday. And then as temperatures cool off for the weekend, we could finally see some snow again, but at this point, we're not expected to see any accumulation, simply because the ground will be warm from all the warm temperatures we've seen. And the snow is expected to be a very wet snow. So not only may it mix in with some rain, but it's not going to accumulate very quickly at all, even if it does snow. So even though we are going to see some snow, don't expect to see any additional accumulation. So here's a look at the full 10-day forecast. Calm through Wednesday, rain possible Wednesday night with rain likely Thursday and Friday. And then by the weekend, we'll see highs around 40, still above average, but colder than the 50s, with a chance of rain and snow by the time we get to the end of the weekend into next work week, as temperatures will continue to cool off, but still near average by next work week with highs in the middle 30s. So still enjoy this weather for the next few days, because we are going to see some rain, although it will be mild at first before the temperatures cool off.
All right, thank you, Jacob. And now to sports with Andrew.
After losing to Minnesota in overtime, the border battle on ice continued last night in front of a sold-out Kohl Center, and spoiler alert, we needed overtime again. And as if overtime wasn't enough free hockey, we needed a shootout. This is what you live for. Gophers missed their first shot, so here comes Quinn Finley. Nothing too fancy, but he scoops the puck around the netminder for the goal. Take another look at that one. What a beauty. And then William Whitelaw with a chance to put this thing to bed. Right at the keeper, and it is a goal. The Badgers tie the Gophers and win the shootout. What a thrilling weekend for the men. 1-1 is your final. In the span of 25 hours, there are not one, not two, not three, but 4 top 10 matchups on UW's campus. Women's and men's hockey are 3 of those 4 games, and the women played St. Cloud State yesterday, looking for their 10th straight win. But the Huskies took an early lead. They'd try to add to it here, but look at this glove save from Jane Gervais. She had 24 saves on the day. Take another look at that. She'd need all of them. And then later in the second period, Badgers trying to claw their way back in. Slap shot off the mark from Vivian Jungles, but Maddie Wheeler in the right place at the right time. She nets the goal. Badgers go on to win it in overtime, and will look for the sweep today. Did we mention top 10? I think a couple times. The big one of the weekend is today, when 6th-ranked Wisconsin hosts number 2 Purdue, as the Badgers look to rebound from a collapse at Nebraska. That can all be forgotten if they take care of business against the Boilermakers. The teams come in just about tied for first place in the Big Ten, and the Boilermakers bring 7'4" Zach Edey, the reigning National Player of the Year. There's a lot on these players' minds heading into this game, so I asked a simple question to some stars for the Badgers. What do you like about Purdue?
Yeah, they run really well. You know, they play really well together. Love the way they play well and compete, and you know it's gonna be a fun game.
Yeah, they're a really good team, really good coached. Got some really talented players, and they got Zach Edey. So I mean, that's the nicest thing I can say about it.
That's your morning sports fix. Have a serene Sunday.
My dry eyes made me a burning, stinging 5 times a day.
Makeup smearing, drops user.
I want another option. That's not another drop.
Tyrvaya. It's not another drop. It's the first and only nasal spray for dry eye. Tyrvaya treats the signs and symptoms of dry eye disease fast by helping your body produce its own real tears. Common side effects include sneezing, cough, and throat and nose irritation.
Relying only on drops? Not me. My own real tears are my relief.
Ask your eye doctor about Tyrvaya.
This is a real person seeking a solution to a real problem.
Hi, fine, how are you?
Welcome to the Good Feet store. How can I help?
I have plantar fasciitis. My knees hurt, my hips hurt.
Then she was personally fit with Good Feet arch supports.
I don't feel any pain anywhere.
Good.
Seriously, no pain in my knees, my hips, nothing. This is amazing. I don't want to take them off. It just feels like I'm in heaven. Oh, you're a blessing in disguise.
Try them for yourself with a free arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Ordinary is the opposite of beautiful. Because beauty excites. It energizes. It drops our jaws. Dilates our eyes. Makes us look twice. A beautiful home, a beautiful life, is something we create. And we can start right now at Floor & Decor.
Without the right start to your day, your morning could hit a wall.
Is he okay?
I got it. Belvita breakfast biscuits are baked with slow-release carbs and provide steady morning energy to help you rise and thrive.
Everyone remembers the last time they played a golf course in great condition. The maintenance standards are incredibly high. The turf is simply in great condition with fast greens. And they want to be able to play it in 4 hours or less. And you know what they want to do then? They want to do it again and again and again. And if you do too, come become a member. If you just want to do it a little bit, come be our guest.
Start your new day with the News 3 Now This Morning team, bringing you local breaking news, exploring all that makes our area special, and letting you know what to expect when you head out the door. The Emmy Award-winning News 3 Now This Morning, weekdays.
Tonight, after the Grammy Awards, this year's Grammy nominees will get a Southern Wisconsin surprise in their gift bags. Get a look at these hair pieces. They're from a Janesville company looking to forge new style standards for men. Tonight on News 3 Now at 10.
Join us for the night of fun and fundraising at the annual Andy North Trivia Night.
It's always a night to remember. February 15th at the Sylvie. Find tickets at andynorthandfriends.com.
If you didn't do anything for Valentine's Day, this is your chance to catch up.
We'll see you there.
Here's a final look at your forecast. This afternoon is going to be very sunny with high temperatures around 40, middle 40s for the western portion of our area. So the fog will clear up by the time we get to around noon. Now here's a look at the 7-day forecast. 40s for Monday and Tuesday with partly sunny skies, and then possibly 50 on Wednesday, although we are going to see more cloud cover on Wednesday. And then as we get into Thursday, rain is likely. Temperatures will also increase for Thursday with highs in the lower 50s. We could be flirting with record highs Wednesday and Thursday, with the rain likely continuing into Friday as temperatures begin to cool off a bit and then cool off more for the weekend with highs around 40. Although for next weekend, it is going to still be above average. And then as we get to next work week, we're going to continue to cool off, still above average if we are indeed in the middle 30s, but a lot closer to it. We also have a chance of rain and snow by the end of next weekend to begin next week. But at this point, we are not expecting to see any accumulation as temperatures, once again, remaining above average.